Yo, Gabba Gabba! Luno!
You're right!
He's calling friendly.
Alpha!
Looks pretty fine. Alright. Just in case, if you're someone who grew up with these characters and really care for them, maybe you would want to sit this one out. And if you are DJ Lance Rock, please don't take this as a declaration of war. I don't want to anger the gods. It's also pretty important for me to say that this is a video that is not made for children. Children are not supposed to be watching this video. Just because I'm talking about children's media doesn't mean that this video in particular is for children. I'm saying it right now. I'm saying it right here for the record. And when I upload it, I will make sure that it is known this is not for children. Now, growing up, one of my greatest joys in life was sitting directly in front of the TV, watching all the media that cable television could offer while rotting my eyeballs. And one of these things that stood out among them all was Yo Gabba Gabba. Alright, that's my credibility down. Now for the purpose. I want to take the 5 main characters from Yo Gabba Gabba and put them in a fight to the death to see which one of them will reign supreme. No, I am not insane. But in all seriousness, I genuinely believe that Yo Gabba Gabba was one of the greatest pieces of children's entertainment. You know, shows that were meant directly for children and children alone. The entire genre of shows of that era always felt like they thought children were like little stupid baby poo-poo things that couldn't understand basic concepts. And as a kid, I wasn't stupid, I was a scholar. So whenever Dora did a long pause waiting for my response, I just said the wrong answer on purpose, just cause I refuse to conform to what they think would entertain me. Yo Gabba Gabba, despite visually having this very kiddie appearance, often had some very important little lessons that were expertly crafted through some banger songs and the use of empathy and whatever. Who cares? We're death battle. We're having them do a death battle. This introduction is literally 5 pages long. To condense this introduction, Yo Gabba Gabba was cool. It taught children easy things very smartly, tried to show them empathy, and also had a lot of cool guest appearances such as Jack Black and Sean Kingston and Rob Dyrdek, I think, and also freaking MCR, you know, My Chemical Romance. The freaking 4-year-olds in the audience love My Chemical Romance. That was really just one of the rewatching it, I did not remember that episode of the freaking Christmas special where MCR just kind of showed up out of nowhere and they sang a freaking song about snowflakes. Okay, I love that episode. Also, remember this, Jack Black. If it was not for Jack Black, I would not have been able to finish this video. Jack Black single-handedly saved this video, and we're going to talk about how he did it later on. So that's, you know, that's a nice little way to keep you interested, to keep you watching, to find out the big Jack Black mystery and how he made this all possible. Yo Gabba Gabba is a show about DJ Lance Rock over here, who is easily America's most handsome man, and his little group of toys that he has in his big old boombox that he carries around. These being 5 toys: Muno, Fufa, Broby, Tootie, and Plex. These uniquely diverse creatures and robot would dance around, play around, eat around, and most importantly, sing around. Most of the time, this singing around being used to teach a lesson to one another and the viewers at home. Now, as a kid, I love these characters a lot. Broby was my personal favorite because he was green. He had 2 different faces that he can like switch between, so they have different emotions compared to everyone else. And he also had a really cute design, you know, with a short body and like very long arms. You know, perfect character design, like genuinely. But he's just my favorite. I still really like every other character. Muno was fun, and although no one was necessarily a main character, he always like really felt like one. Tootie was just an all-around riot on screen. Plex is a robot. Robots are cool. What else should I say? Robots are freaking awesome. And Fufa. Hey, it's me again, Editor Bias. You ever like make a joke, right? You ever make a joke and you hear it the first time, you hear yourself make it the first time, and you're like, wow, that was a pretty good joke. Good on you, me. You made that joke and it was great. And you listen to that joke a couple more times and you're like, alright, you know, I get it. and then you hear it 20 times, and then you hear it 100 times, then you hear it like 1,000 times over the course of 2 years, and you go from, wow, that was a cool joke, to, that joke's kind of getting annoying, and that joke is really annoying, all the way to the point where you're like, that joke is horrible, and you sound like a creep when you make that joke. You sound like a weirdo, and anyone that would tell me that joke in person, I would probably drop kick, I would probably scissor kick them, and that's kind of what happened here. You see, what I did in the first take of this script was make a joke about Fufa and how I told a little anecdote about when I was a child. I used to have a certain crush on Fufa, and I would, as a kid, would always see her come on screen and want to hug her. And I started to make jokes about that, and hearing it multiple times, I got to the point where it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't know why I've kept it in this video up until this point. And I never really took it out because it would take much longer to make the video if I did so, and I just didn't have the energy. And here I am last minute, the video fully rendered, and I'm looking at the joke, and now I'm deciding, this sucks, I'm gonna take it out. So because of this, there's gonna be a bit of a wonkiness in terms of the flow of the video, most notably being Broby's transition slide. There's gonna be a little message there, just ignore it, or actually, yeah, pay attention to it, I don't know. But yeah, that's about it. I'm sorry for making this video a little longer. No matter what issues show up in Gabba Land between these lovable characters, you know, they would always come together at the end, have fun, and learn a lesson at the end of the day, while, you know, just having fun throughout the time. And they're also going to have fun because I'm about to have them kill each other. I'm so sorry for what I'm gonna do to these people. The goal of today's video will be to analyze each of these characters' qualities, capabilities, powers, feats of strength, and weaknesses to see which one of them would become the last Gabbian standing in a free-for-all battle. And in order to complete this goal, I rewatched all 4 seasons of Yo Gabba Gabba and 2 of their live shows, which are all available on YouTube by the official Yo Gabba Gabba YouTube channel and the Wild Brain channel. I'm not sponsored or anything. I doubt they'd sponsor this video knowing the topic, so I watched them all, took as many notes as I could, and just determined who would overall be number 1. So we're gonna go over the ground rules. Most importantly, this is a complete free-for-all. We are assuming that these people are all fighting against each other roughly around the same time. This means that it's not going to be constantly all 5 of them fighting together at the exact same time. However, it will mean that maybe one will start fighting another, and then another will be fighting. Maybe 2 people are going to be fighting 2 other people at the same time, and one's just doing whatever the fuck they want. It doesn't mean they're all constantly fighting each other at the same time. It just means anyone can fight at anyone at any point. And with that knowledge, it would make it a little easier to really determine who would win. After all, if we were to do this tournament rules one-on-ones, there would be a very easy victor, and you'll see once I start doing the analysis. And speaking of the analysis, we're about to get into that. No, I forgot one thing. Now, you may be wondering, I've omitted 2 different characters from this death battle, that being Gooble and DJ Lance Rock himself. Now, I'm not including Gooble because 1, he's a ghost, he's already dead, and 2, he's just very sad. I don't want to make him like kill people. And DJ Lance Rock I'm omitting as well because it's easy. He would body every single one of them, like easily. He's a god. If he were to participate, he would just easily smite all those who oppose him. So we'll just give him the respect that he deserves and not include him. So anyways, let's get into the long-awaited character analysis for each for the five finger being book bag.
Muno!
Right! He's tall and friendly.
Muno. He's tall and friendly.
I don't want to make new friends.
But Muno, you love making new friends.
But these ones are different.
Known for his red color, his affinity for bugs, and the many bumps on his body, of which the origin of are yet to have been identified, this Cyclops from Gabba Land has one main concern, and that's to have a good time. I thought this would be like really funny when I wrote this. In terms of qualities, he seems to be rather outstanding. He's the tallest out of all of his friends, is faster than the average Gabian, and has 3 stomachs. Or should I say had 3 stomachs, since in later seasons they just completely retconned the fact that he had 3 stomachs in the first place and just gave him a single stomach, which, you know, I wouldn't usually be this upset over something so unimportant, but if you feel as if the fact that he has more than 1 stomach isn't an important quality of Muno, then just don't include it in the first place. That's just character design 101, fella. His lack of a second eye begs the question of whether or not he lacks good depth perception, and not only that, but later on learning that he has poor eyesight further proves his lack of spatial awareness, which is evident in his continued clumsiness, as he is often seen tripping over objects and knocking things over. But other scenes show that this may not be that much of a handicap to Muno, such as one where Muno catches a random ball mid-air without any warning, which is an example of his Ultra Instinct reflexes. Plus, he wears contacts now, or a singular contact because he has 1 eye, so he can at least see fine. But for every instance of God tier reflexes shown by Muno, there are 20 other instances of him tripping over a pebble and ruining someone's bowl of cereal or something. And even despite such reflexes existing, Muno is known for not being the sharpest tool in the shed. He has made several decisions that some could argue are rather foolish, you know, quite brainless, a tad bit moronic. He's kind of dumb. He's also scared pretty easily, but it's mostly just a fear of the dark, which many can relate to. However, don't let these relatable and human qualities distract you from his overall destructive power, which is far from human. Countless of times he is shown hurting others simply by accident.
Was that the bite of 87?
He is just simply violent by nature, and it shows. Here he is just straight up picking up a pretty large rock with just 1 arm. This man needs to be stopped. Muno does have some odd talents that you wouldn't expect, such as skateboarding, playing the guitar, using a lasso like a professional lassoer, all taking inspiration from his idols. You know, Tony Hawk, Jack Black, and I don't know who taught him to lasso like that. Muno may not be the smartest or the bravest, but do not sleep on this man on the battlefield, because he is capable of making sure you stay asleep.
Everyone looks different, but we can all be friends.
She's pink and happy.
Fufa, she's pink and happy.
Don't be afraid. I am right here.
Fufa isn't the most physically capable compared to her friends. She is by far the weakest. Her strongest feat being her pushing what she calls a small hill, but what it mostly resembles is a small bush. And even then she couldn't lift it, she had to push it. She's also marginally the slowest out of them all, which both are to be expected. She doesn't want to be the fastest or strongest, she just wants to relax and take care of her flowers. But don't let these weaknesses make you doubt her. She has been shown several times to be a magic user. That's right, just freaking magic. Through the creation of rainbows, which have been shown to be made up of some sort of tangible substance, of which I don't know, probably Skittles. They don't seem to last a while though, but are capable of handling her own weight. Fufa may not be the most conventional of our combatants, but she's able to bust a move, so if this was a dance battle, she's guaranteed to win that.
Hey, it's dark. What happened? I can't see. I can't see. Someone? Hello?
It is I, Muno, evil Fufa. I've come to visit you in your moments of weakness to let you know, Muno, I have come to let you know, Muno, that you should be afraid, Muno. Nothing will be okay. I am not here. I am not here to help you, Muno, and you're alone. You're alone, Muno. And also, no one else is afraid of the dark. You're the only person in the world who's afraid of the dark, Muno. And there's no one you can relate to. There's no one. You are alone in this fear, and you are alone, and you are afraid. And you should be afraid, Muno, because no one loves you. No one loves you, Muno. Everyone hates you. Your parents, they're disappointed in you, Muno. And I'm evil Fufa.
Broby, He's the little green one, and my favorite of the bunch.
I guess nothing is cool.
Being at the shocking age of 4, Broby is but an infant. Except then I kind of realized that, wait, these are not humans, they're monsters. Age is superfluous. Comparing it to humans just does not make sense. But either way, because of this age, it is shown that he is kind of ignorant to the world and how it works, despite, being a monster regardless. It's just, he doesn't have that many years of experience. Despite his lack of experience being alive though, he already seems to be quite developed, having the largest wingspan out of all his friends, despite being the little green one. As stated though, they do call him the little green one for a reason. That being, well, he's small. He's considerably shorter than all of his friends, but don't let that make you doubt his abilities. Despite his size, he's done some very unexpected feats, such as most notably his appetite. Everybody is aware of the countless parties that he's hosted in his tummy every day of the week. The ones I never get invited to. He may be 4, but you're never too young to turn up. What? Broby's nutrients intake is above any of his peers. Evidence of this being a comically large apple core being found in Broby land. Okay, it's not that large. Barely even comical, honestly. And despite his size, he seems to be a little more powerful than people would expect, strength-wise. There's this moment where Broby accidentally bumps into Plex, which causes Plex to be sent forward and knocked down, all by accident. We may not know what material is used to make Plex's body. All Google searches for Plex's weight are futile. I did find some fan art though. But besides this, it's still important to note that Broby is capable of knocking Plex over, so he's definitely not weak. This is further proven through this scene where he is implied to have moved his signature tree stump all the way from Broby land to Fufa land. This means that he either lifted the tree stump and carried it there, or just pushed it. Regardless, it's still a very notable skill, especially since the tree stump is half Broby's size. Wow. He's also shown his athletic capabilities through playing Space Jam, his skills of which allowed him to be the only one among his peers to earn a gold medal in the Yo Gabba Olympics. Broby's ballin', dude. Surely, it would be a foolish decision to sleep on this unlikely combatant.
I even made some new friends!
Where are you from? Would you hold my foot?
Real quick, little editor bias take. Finding a lot of these scenes of Yo Gabba Gabba characters outside and outside lighting. It looks really off to me. Like, I'm so used to the lighting inside like their studio where they're recording the freaking show or whatever. So seeing them in like natural light outside, it looks like so surreal and so strange and so weird. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say really. Tootie, she likes to have fun, and fun she has.
Climbing up is so much fun!
She is considered to be overall the most athletic out of the Gabba gang, and for good reason. Her favorite pastime is simply just jumping around, as well as running. She's clearly the fastest out of all her friends. She's surprisingly excellent at hiding, as evident by her always winning any game of hide and seek, without fail. I mean it, without fail. Every single time they play hide and seek, Tootie is the last one to be found, and they can't even find her. She just comes out and is all like, got y'all. It's funny. It is obvious that Tootie is a pretty competitive person, which could prove interesting in a battle, especially because, well, she can breathe literal fire. You see, it may be hard to tell at a first glance, but Tootie is actually a hybrid, being part cat and part dragon, which brings up a whole new question. What are her parents like? Do they look like this? How would that work in any circumstance? I'm confused. Because of her dragon side, she's able to breathe blue fire, which is between 2600 degrees Fahrenheit and 3000 degrees Fahrenheit. That fact alone could honestly allow her to win this fight easily, if it wasn't for the fact that she can't really cover much area with the fire, such as when she used her fire breathing during a game on Broby. standing fairly close to Broby while still barely missing him. Seems that being part dragon instead of full dragon does have its downsides. But who needs exceptional fire breath when you got muscles like Tootie? She carried this big block of ice all the way from Tootie Land to Fufa Land. Tootie Land being the furthest away from Fufa Land compared to any other place in Gabba Land, all while not stopping for any breaks or showing any sign of being bothered by the coldness of it. She would later be seen sitting on it too, so she does not care about the cold at all. Call her freaking Elsa from Frozen. The cold never bothered me anyway. Yeah, this is funny. Of course, she does have her weaknesses after all, such as abandonment issues. Like, she really doesn't like it when her friends have to leave. Damn. That's not important to the fight or anything. It's just an observation I picked up on. Besides that, she is also pretty clumsy at times. Not as much as Muno. She also isn't very good with brain games. She's more brawn over brains. Of course, she's not dumb as rocks like Muno is, but you know, she ain't doing no algebra. There was one time where they were climbing up a pyramid using a rope, and she let go of the rope for a second or two and showed no signs of falling. So it could be assumed that she can defy gravity? You know, I don't know how useful that would be in a fight, but yeah, it's a thing. With all these skills, as long as this cat dragon plays her cards right, she can make it out of this while keeping her 9 lives. Or 4.5 lives. Yeah. Now, before we get to the next part of the analysis here, I wanted to give a little anecdote. While I was doing my research, I came across this fan wiki. And the point of this fan wiki was to document the certain fans ship, that being Broby x Tootie, and every instance in the show that justifies that ship of Broby x Tootie. And you know, at first I thought, dang, that's kind of dumb. Why are you so fixated on the relationship of these fictional monsters? It's just, you know, it's not that deep. It's a show for like 3-year-olds. But then I stopped myself before finishing that thought and was like, okay, 2 things. 1, you're making a video attempting to power scale these characters. So 1, you have no basis to judge on that matter. And 2, it reminded me that myself as a kid, before I understood the concept of shipping, I shipped Broby and Tootie. I thought they just made sense, and that was a humbling experience, I will say. I apologize to the fan that made that wiki. I'm just like you.
Climbing up is so much fun.
Oh, nigga!
My ears burn.
A magic robot.
Plex, the magic robot.
But the best part of Coachella was all the new friends I made.
Do me a favor.
Plex is frankly overpowered. End of story, no doubt in my mind. This guy is literally just a menace. As previously stated, Plex is a magical robot. A robot with magic. How does that make sense? They are literally contradictions of each other. Like the robotic part of him would be against the notion of the existence of magic, but then you got the magic part of him which goes against the notions of any science or technology. Plex is a living contradiction, and I don't like it. My brain hurts. Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Due to his magical roboticness, Plex's physical and mental capabilities are off the charts, and his magical abilities are the most impressive out of all of his friends, the second most being Fufa's. Physically, Plex is a powerhouse. He has been shown throwing a ball high enough to reach DJ Lance more than once. Plex is strong enough that he can throw a ball high enough to pass the sky and reach their god. He is also capable of picking up Broby's tree stump like nothing, so You can see which one of them is stronger. Not only is Plex incredibly strong, but he can extend his arms very far enough to stretch across all of Gabba land. With this unbelievable strength and reach, this easily makes Plex seem rather powerful. However, he does struggle in the mobility department. Due to his bodily structure, his arms stick forward, my man cannot T-pose. But there's more to Plex than just his physical powers. Where this gets more interesting is his use of magical powers. He can teleport people into Gabba land, downloading tangible objects and uploading them back into reality, even being able to alter their size. He can teleport himself, although not instantly, and can receive information through his antenna. He also has a driver's license. Unrelated to magic, or is it? Clearly, Plex seems to be the most capable in battle. However, for every strength that he has, there's almost definitely a weakness that balances him out. Of course, him being a robot, he has to deal with robotic problems, such as charging his batteries and avoiding water. There's even an instance where Muno accidentally just murdered him with water by throwing a snowball at him. It killed him. Plex died in the show. This honestly scared me a bit. I wasn't expecting it. Plex has some serious water issues, but what robot doesn't? Despite these weaknesses though, it still doesn't change the fact that he's an absolute unit of a fighter. And a bit unrelated, but he may need therapy because he's been showing signs.
Why am I so small? That's just the way it is, Broby. Some people are small, some people are tall, and some people are robots. Ha 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 ha. And some people are robots. Ha 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 ha.
Existential crisis or not, this magic robot is more than ready to show everyone what he's made of. And so, I have finally analyzed every single one of the main characters in Yo Gabba Gabba. And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for, the big battle. I'm not gonna animate it. I'm not doing that. I don't know how to do that. That's too much work. This would take like another year to finish if I were to animate this. So I could just tell you who would win and end the video there, but that would be lame. So I'm just gonna have to improvise.
ブレックスお願いします。なぜ戦わなければならないのですか？ 体何が起こっているのですか？フレックスは敵対的になりました。そして今、いいえ。私はこれを止めなければなりません。もう友達を許さない。もうお互いを傷つけます。遠出。
Oh my DJ Lance rock the horror! After all that, Bro B managed to stand out on top. Of course he does. He's the best character in Yo Gabba Gabba. I mean, come on, look how cute he is. He can both smile and frown. He has arms and legs on his body. He moves them all together and makes him dance. And surely enough, he danced all over his close friends. Oh yeah, they're fine, by the way. It was all a dream. I'm sorry to disappoint, but you know, I didn't want to upset Google. That ghost, he has the key to my soul, damn it. But yeah, for all those Broby haters that wanted literally anyone else to win, there is a reason for why Broby would win. Of course, we do need to address the elephant in the room first. Why didn't Plex, the one who seemed most likely to win? Well, although Plex is by far the most impressive out of the entire Gabba gang and would most definitely beat any of them in a one-on-one match, Plexus's weaknesses become an extreme risk to him when put in a free-for-all scenario. No matter what would have resulted, he would ultimately fail. If he focused on one person, he would get a snowball to the head. If he tried fighting them all at once, his battery would more likely deplete, causing a self-takedown. If he had beaten everyone else except for Muno would have clumsily tripped on and knocked over a bucket of water on Plex or something. In a free-for-all, Plex would just not have the necessary means to win. He may take out a couple people on the way there to victory, but ultimately something is going to be taken advantage of against him. Now, you might think this is due to a lack of creativity, but no matter what way you put it, Plex's weaknesses just get in a way. Sure, he can extend his arms far, but he can't bend them while doing so. Anytime he extends his arms, is always straight out, so he wouldn't be able to extend his arms and wrap them around everybody. And sure, he could have just teleported out of the way of the snowball, but as I mentioned before, his teleportation isn't instant. It takes a couple seconds to successfully do it, and dodging is pretty tricky due to his restricted movement due to his design. So sadly, he can't win this fight, but he can stick a sick moonwalk though. So since the strongest out of them all is out of the question, I started to consider who would be the second strongest. And would you believe that it's Broby? Because it actually is. Like, this isn't even biased. I actually had to calculate this to the best of my ability. Here's how I figured it out, and yes, this is where Jack Black helped me. You see, in the episode Trains, the Gabba gang are trying to make a train so that they can go on a train ride. So each of them grabbed an object that they could use as a seat for the train. This excited me since I realized that this would help showcase all of their strengths at the same time in an easy way to compare, since we see a lot of the characters pick up pretty large and what you would expect to be heavy objects. Muno picks up a large rock, Fufa pushes what she claims to be a hill but looks more like a bush, Broby removes a tree stump, Tootie carries a large block of ice of some sort, I wouldn't know what that's called, and Plex just brings his driver's license. So I would have to determine the weight of all the objects that they carried, and to do that, I would need to compare all their sizes. Visually, Muno and Tootie's objects were roughly the same size, Fufa's was the smallest, and Broby's was the largest. But that wasn't enough. I needed the exact weight of each object, and to do that, I needed to know their exact measurements. How would I go about doing that? I'm dumb as rocks. How do I measure these objects? I considered sticking a ruler to my screen, but even I thought that was the stupidest idea on earth as I did it. So I decided to determine it through comparing the objects to the characters' heights. An idea I got from observing Muno carry his rock. So of course I started there. All I needed to do was find Muno's height and we should be good to go. Oh, that's right. They're toys. They're tiny. This is not gonna work. And so I was now in another rut. I couldn't find the height of any character. What was I supposed to do without this important information? And then it happened. Like an angel descending from the heavens up above, on top of a sentient flying motorcycle, Jack Black came before me and told me,
Worry not, child. Lay your head to rest. I shall rid you of this burden.
And then he struck me. I mean, he straight up decked me in the face. It hurt. He's stronger than he leads on to be. And as I was reeling back, broken nose and all, everything just made perfect sense. Jack Black featured in an episode, New Friends, and in a scene, he is seen standing next to Muno. I didn't have to compare The Rock to Muno's height. I could just use Jack Black's height. Thank you, Jablinski Games. Very cool. Now, Jack Black is 5'6", and since both his upper body and The Rock cover around the same height, that being the bottom of Muno's upper body all the way up to his chin, then The Rock would be about the size of Jack Black's upper body. Usually, the upper body is about half a human's height, and if we change it into inches, that would make Jack Black's upper body about 33 inches, and The Rock would also be 33 inches tall by that logic. But that's only the height. What about the length and width? So I thought about it, but again, I'm dumb as rocks. So I just said, fuck it. It kind of looks like a perfect square, so I considered it as a cube. So of course, the weight of the objects won't be exact, so instead we're going to be considering all of them as if this is the maximum possible weight of all the objects that they carry. So that should be good enough. Since Tootie's ice block was made of a similar size, I also considered it a cube. Do we understand? Do we agree? Yes? Good. If you don't, leave a comment. I won't read it. Now, next step for Muno, figuring out what kind of rock it was. Judging by the features and coloration of the rock is more than likely to be sandstone. And good thing that it is. Sandstone is pretty heavy. The average weight of a large sandstone rock is about 150 pounds per cubic foot. So says the internet. 33 inches times 3 being length, width, and height, is 99 inches, which is 8.25 feet. We round down to 8 feet for a rounder number, which could mean that the maximum possible weight of Muno's rock is around 1,200 pounds, and Muno lifted that with one arm. Also, yeah, assuming Tootie was around the same size, I found a calculator that showed how many gallons of water would fill up a tank of the same length, width, and height, which would have been around 155.57 gallons. From there, I determined the weight of that, and then I determined the difference of that weight if it were to be ice, since ice is lighter than water. Trust me, Google told me so. After doing that calculation, she would have carried around less than 141.5 pounds of ice. And Fufa, look man, I love Fufa. I made it abundantly clear. But I knew from the start that she'd lose. You knew from the start that she'd lose. The Fufa fans watching this clicked on the video and said out loud, ain't no way Fufa would win this. And it showed. Out of everyone, she had the smallest object. It was a bush. She pushed it. Couldn't even lift it up. And even if what Fufa was pushing was a small hill, how am I supposed to determine the weight of a small hill? You tell me. How heavy is a small hill? How heavy is a small hill? You don't know. Like, Fufa, baby, I'm rooting for you. But you know you aren't gonna win. Sorry. Again, you really can dance though. So yeah, these are everybody's just, feats of strength. But what about Broby? You would think about what Muno did as hella impressive. So how can Broby moving a tree stump be more than Muno one-arming a rock that weighs 1,200 pounds at most? Well, tree stumps are pretty heavy. I knew this well enough beforehand because I know I've never been able to lift up a tree stump myself. But what I didn't know was exactly how much a tree stump weighed. And well, let's just say that an Asian elephant weighs about 8,800 pounds, which is 4.4 tons. Which, that sounds very heavy, doesn't it? Hey, hi, Editor Bias here. Adding this part to the video because when I did my early research, I was able to get the exact weight of a large tree stump pretty easily. In fact, the first Google search of how heavy is a tree stump, it got me that answer very, very quickly. A tree stump can range from being 12.9 to 66.9 tons. And I used that answer, but I guess I forgot to screenshot it so I could show it in the video. So when I tried looking it up again, literally that answer, I can't find it anywhere. So I've used a couple sources, and I know for a fact from the research that I was able to gather now, tree stumps on the larger end still remain to be several tons heavy. It is even said in some places I've seen that moderately sized tree stumps still remain to be several tons. I do need to consider and mention the fact that a lot of the reason why tree stumps are so heavy, which I failed to talk about earlier, is because of the roots in the tree stumps and how it carries a lot of dirt, and that dirt increases a lot of the weight of the tree stump. But even without the dirt, it will still be around several tons. So what I'm trying to get at here is that although I don't have any concrete numbers, Broby's tree stump has to be at the very least several tons heavy, which even if I'm not able to get any concrete numbers, that on its own is already still heavier than what Muno was lifting. So I'm still right, it's just that the sources gave me concrete numbers, now they're not, and it's Broby was able to either pick up or push something that heavy from Broby Land to Fufa Land. We'll assume that he pushed it, since I can't imagine him picking it up. Even if it was just him pushing it though, Broby was able to push a minimum of 12.9 tons several times, which is just a feat that's beyond description. He's 4 years old. Imagine what he'll do when he grows up. Scary. So yeah, second strongest out of them all. And with his large range because of his arms, it'd be hard for the others to beat him, except for Plex, but Snowball. Not to mention that Muno had a couple disadvantages as well that prevented him from performing his best, such as his clumsiness. And so because of all this, it's pretty clear that Bruno Bruno wins! And so because of all this, it's pretty clear that Broby is the most likely to win out of everyone else. And it is pretty fitting that our little green one was able to come out on top. Broby is the winner. No, but seriously, I can't even call this an underdog victory. This guy was completely goated before I even knew it. Like before I started working on this video, I would ask people who they think would win. I would always say Broby as a joke because he was my favorite. I never really considered him being the most qualified to win though. But now that I'm here in the future, it's almost a no-brainer that he won. Not only that, it's kind of scary that the youngest one out of them all is the one that is the strongest out of them all, except for Plex. And honestly, I like it. It makes me love Broby even more. Not only is he cute and fun and awesome, but he can destroy anyone in a fight. And you know, now knowing that Broby is this powerful, I feel as if it's time for me to truly embrace his greatness. I am a Broby fan, and if you disagree, then he will obliterate you! My therapist told me it's not good to get so serious about children's media. He also questioned whether or not it was sane to pin all these children's media characters in a death battle. So I'm just gonna end the video here. That was the video. I've been working on this for a long time. I've freaking been holding I've been Jesus Christ, this is the unscripted part. I've been holding off on uploading this video for a while for several reasons. One, did you see that freaking awesome little skit that I did there for the fight? That took a while. That was like months of tweening and dragging PNGs across the screen. I had to like make some of those PNGs myself too. I also really wanted to like do this little character design, character redesign I mean. You know, like this little guy you see moving across the screen. And in order to do that, I need to like make a bunch of different drawings so that I can make the movement be more realistic despite not animating. That was a burp. It tasted like plantain chips. I just finished eating plantain chips. I also had an idea for a secondary little skit character that I was gonna have around, but I'm not ready for that yet. So we'll see what the future has in store. Who knows? If I'm gonna show this in the next 2 years, maybe 3, 4. We all know it's gonna be 5 years. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching this stupid video about me talking about which children's character would freaking win in a death battle. I should find a more productive thing to do with my life. See you freaking later. I don't know what the next video will be. This was the only thing I actually had planned. I think I might go on vacation.